Hey, whoa! What is that?
That is my 1978 Rod Carew baseball card, and I don't know why it's just randomly hanging around the studio, but I saw it and I said it's a baseball show, so I'm going to grab my 1978 Rod Carew baseball card.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I was going through some things the other day. By the way, welcome back to the Penalty Box Live with our sponsor, Woodstock Inn and Brewery, Tim Lord, Eric Bam. I found these in my desk the other day. These are coasters. I have two of them. Budweiser Boston All-Star Game 1999 coasters.
Ooh.
Isn't that kind of cool?
Put those on eBay. They'll get you 50 cents a piece.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, but hey, it's 50 cents more than I had.
You don't need 50 cents.
I know. It's true. I don't. Welcome back. We're going to talk some baseball today. We're going to talk some divisional races and maybe some World Series predictions. And, just to kick the show off, longest summer of Red Sox baseball ever.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Well, I've got a couple of shots on goal. I know Wes. There it is. Wes knows. He's
on top of things.
If you ever want to do a live show and you want somebody to produce it for you, Wesley Vivian Wyatt is the best. He's just the best. He does does all this stuff. We just show up and it's incredible. So you got any shots on goal today? You want me to kick it off?
I got one. You kick it off.
I will kick it off with, this show is about sports marketing and sales. And in the marketing world, the term shrinkflation has kicked in. Starting this week, and I wrote the exact numbers down, General Mills has taken the size of a family size box of cereal starting this week, and they've lowered it from 19.3 ounces to 18.1, and you're paying the same price. Shrinkflation, and that's happened obviously for years, but I think COVID and cost of goods and cost of getting things to places has gone up. And so the answer is not to raise the price. The answer is to lower the serving amount, and just is what it is,
Speaking for our sponsor, a pint is still a pint.
Good point. That's actually a good point. In the pizza world that I live in, it's hard. You can't now take a 14-inch pizza and make it a 13. That's just going to take too much to do that. So speaking of Wes is throwing up frozen hand with shot on goal. So we take back anything we said about Wes. I wanted to throw out just something I threw out to another group I'm in. I threw it out yesterday. And just from a personal brand marketing standpoint, and this isn't a big deal. This isn't like life shattering or anything. But if you want to find me on any social media, okay, it's at the Eric Bam right there. Right. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, TikTok, everything is at the Eric Bam. You want to make your life really easy and try and grow your personal brand, do your best to make them all the same. And I'll tell you what I did. I literally got on my computer and I opened up the tab for every one of those. And I started with Facebook first. And you go in and is at the Eric Bam available? Yes, it is. Great. Now is it available here? Yes, it is. Great. And you know what? I got lucky that worked everywhere. But find something and make your life a little easy. And if you're out talking to somebody, hey, are you on LinkedIn? Yes, at the Eric Bam, and they can find you. It's just
common sense.
Pro tip. Tip. I got one more. What do you got?
While you were talking, I went on GoDaddy, and now I own ericbam.com. So
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So my shot on goal just came to me driving to work today. I heard that the Emmy nominations came out, and Cobra Kai got nominated for an Emmy.
Really?
Any idea what category? Would you like to guess?
Best choreography.
Right. No, comedy.
What is a comedy? Yeah, it's a comedy.
It is?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a comedy.
Serious stuff, man.
Have you watched it?
Of course.
It's definitely a comedy.
No. Alan and Megamind, Alan Barise would kick me to the head.
You think it's more like comedy drama?
It's a common drama.
No, rom-com is a thing. By the way, did you know you think about the old rom-coms that they made in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s? We don't get rom-coms anymore.
No.
Those don't come out. And I love rom-coms. I'll say it. I like watching them. So my last shot on goal, and this is something just more personal than anything. I think one of the misses in life is we don't enjoy the process. You know, we all want to get to the goal, but when you get to the goal, like there are new, higher, bigger goals. So enjoy the process along the way, because once you get there, like I said, celebrate what you got there. But then there's something else to do, and I think there's just so many people that want things to be a project and move on, and they want to like, oh, well, I did this and now I'm better. Well, there's always a lot of things to do better, and I'm just as guilty. Like I got to be better. I got to be better every day. I got to be a better father. I got to be better employee. I got to be better, at my church. I got to be better at a lot of stuff. And if you're watching this, if you're not trying to be better, then just quit life because life's about getting better every day. Someone said to me last week, mentioned something about this show, about our podcast, and said, oh, you're just trying to promote your podcast and get rich. Yeah, zero rich on this. But you know why I do this? I do this because we have a good time. I love doing it with you and Wes. And I think doing this makes me better at doing phone stuff and live stuff for my job and for other things I do. And so like I said, just embrace the process of every day getting up and trying to be a little better, because once you stop, I think you just live in a miserable mediocreness, and that's not good.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But, does there have to be there doesn't have to be an economic win to everything you do.
No.
And we don't know, the powers that be in the universe will show us what we're doing, where the payout is, but who cares? Let's have fun. Common sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about monetizing everything you see and everything you do. Sometimes it's just about self-improvement, or sometimes it's about just giving back, and sometimes it's about just being a good human. And it's okay to have a little fun along the way.
Absolutely.
Right? So let's get right into it today. Wesley, if you want to fire our guests on here, hopefully, wow, we gave him too much props today.
We did. He got too comfortable.
So we've got Patrick Masick back on today, who was on when we did our NFL draft. See, he knows what's up. He just flat out froze, and look at him. And I don't know if Coach is going to be able to join us today. He was having some problems. There he is. He's got an arm going there and everything. What is the deal there, Coach? I hope that's an arm and not anything else.
Guys, I'm having so much trouble here. I'm having to get on by the phone. I'm having to hold my phone up like this.
Well, just set it down so you're not so moving all around, or don't drink it. Don't drink as much during the summer.
I got you. I'm trying to back off on that.
Oh, you're good. You're good. So we've got Coach Bill Adams, who's the head baseball coach at Liberty High School in Liberty, Oklahoma. Good friend of mine, big baseball guy, and got a bigger neck than I do. So we're glad to have him on today.
Hey.
And Liberty Baseball is always taking donations because they need a lot of help out there, which is great. And we've got Patrick Masick on, former host of Sports Animal in Tulsa, and doing a little work for Southern Hills. Yes, sir.
I'm also the commissioner of the Adult Baseball League in Tulsa.
Very nice.
There you go. So we got a little Tulsa flair.
Yes.
But the today's show, it's the halfway point of Major League Baseball. We had the All-Star game last night, and I just kind of, we want to run down kind of each division and what's everybody think, and we'll do maybe a World Series prediction, and just kind of wrap this thing up by throwing out who we think is going to win the World Series. So without further ado, I think we start with the American League East, and I'm going to say arguably the best division in baseball, but that could also be the NL West, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you look at the American League East, I halfway wonder if the Red Sox are not imposters, even though it's my team. Tim threw out last week to me, they don't have a starting pitcher with under a 4, ERA, and that's probably right. And so what does that look like getting into some playoff baseball? But you've got, Boston, Tampa Bay, and you've got Toronto. You've got the Yankees still lingering right there. What do you guys think about that division? Patrick, you'll go first.
Yeah, I'll jump in first. But no, again, I don't think Boston is a pretender. I mean, they do have a plus 57 run differential.
Right.
So they're not lucking their way into these wins. They're an experienced ball club. They can hit. They're apt to make deals. I know we might talk trade deadline later, but you can get some pitching. It's expensive, but again, I don't think they're a pretender at all. The Rays are doing what they do. They just keep winning. They're effective.
Yeah.
They try different things. They do have a lot of talent as well. The Blue Jays is the young, exciting team on the block, and the Yankees are still the Yankees. They'll make a splash. They'll acquire something. But, this division is by far I shouldn't say by far. It is. I think it is the best division in baseball right now.
Yeah.
Because you have the old guard at the top with the Red Sox and the Yankees lingering, plus kind of this excitement of Toronto. It's going to be a good race. Who makes the moves? Who stays away from injuries? Who stays hot? We'll decide it. I do like Tampa making the playoffs, whether it's winning the division or the wild card in this instance.
Right.
But I think they'll be in, and then we'll see if one or two other teams from this division roll in there.
Well, Coach, what do you think about the AL East?
The Yankees, as much as you don't want to hear this, I think the Yankees still have a shot. I'm sorry.
Let's just fire him out of here.
Hey,
That's Homer stuff. But look, Wes did fire him out. Tim, I know you have a thought on this. What do you think?
Sure. Well, I think I'm a lot like Patrick. I think that the Rays will probably end up taking the division. My caveat is if Sale comes back in mid-August, the way Chris Sale, that'll be the best trade deadline acquisition of all. If he comes back to be half the guy that he was and a good number 2 starter, I think the Sox could pull it out.
Gotcha. I agree with that. I think Chris Sale, I think, is probably the wild card in all of baseball at this point. If he comes back and he's healthy and he's pitching, it's a game changer.
mm-hmm.
Right? Total game changer. All right. We move to the AL Central. White Sox, Indians, Tigers. Indians are kind of in the hunt a little bit, but Chicago's kind of running away with this thing. What do you guys think? Coach, what do you think?
The White Sox, they've been playing for the last few weeks without their studs. I mean,
Right.
they're going to get their studs back, and they're going to be unbelievable. Eloy Jimenez and those guys, Luis Robert, they're for real. I think they're a game changer right there.
Patrick, what do you think?
Being a fan of a team in this division, division just goes like this. There's usually one dominant team. If you think about it, a decade ago, my Tigers were the dominant team. Then the Royals made back-to-back World Series appearances. The Indians were in the World Series not that long ago. The Twins seem to be in and out, but this division just continues to turn itself over. But yeah, Chicago by far is dominant. Boy, their lineup is really deep. They got a lot of young stars, and as Coach said, they've been doing this without Jimenez. They're solid in the pitching staff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they can make a move or two to shore up some of their bullpen issues, but this is a team that far and away is going to run away with this division. They're the only team. I talk about run differential. They're 117 in run differential. Every other team in the division is negative.
Yeah.
They're going to feast on this division. They'll have a good run to the end of the year. The question is, do they do enough to improve themselves to stay a contender in the American League and in the World Series potentially?
The funny thing to me about this division is, and I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks into the season, Kansas City had won like 7 or 8 in a row, and they were in first place for like a half a day, right? And then it faded back out, and they've been awful ever since. But it's all good. Mr. Lord, any thoughts on the?
I think the White Sox in a runaway, but I do like the future for the Royals. I think that they're a nice young team, and I think they're a couple of pitchers away from being a legit contender. I think it's exciting for that area to have a good baseball team. I do want to go back to the American League East 1 second. And Coach, the Yankees gave up 6 runs in the 9th inning the other night.
Great.
They don't have the guts this year. They're 8 games back. It's just not going to happen.
Well, I really just wanted to throw that out because I'm really like Toronto. I like their young guys, but that's everybody's going to pick Toronto. Vladdy Guerrero and Biggio and Bichette and those guys. I just thought, hey, the Yankees are always going to be there. You're always going to have to worry about them. They're always hanging around.
Yeah, we're not worried about them.
Not this year.
So the AL West, I don't know why intrigues me the most. The Astros are kind of doing what the Astros do. Oakland is playing pretty good baseball. Seattle might catch fire. And then, we talked before the show started about Ohtani and my prediction. I don't think this guy hits 50 by the end of the year, and he's at 33 right now. I think everything's going to wear down on him. People are going to figure him out. But they still have Mike Trout. They still have a good ball club. I don't know why I find this the most intriguing division, but I do. What do you guys think about the AL West? And we don't see them much late
Sure.
West Coast stuff.
It is. It'll be a 2-horse race with Oakland and Houston. Both teams' lineups are really good when healthy.
Yeah.
Both of these teams need some bullpen help. Both of these teams probably would feel a little bit better about maybe a different fourth starter, especially if you get into a playoff series. So whatever team can come up with what they need to shore up the mid to back half of the bullpen and maybe pick up that one starter. They don't have to be a stud. I'm not saying they can go get Max Scherzer or something like that, but if they can get a guy who they can feel good about in a long relief, or you'll piggyback a lot in the playoffs as well. That's the team that will win this division. So again, it's both teams have good lineups, as we know and we talked about.
So you had gun to your head. You got to pick one. Who you got? Houston.
Houston. I like Houston. I watched them series with them a couple weeks ago, and look, obviously coming out of what happened a few years ago. They're still a very good team. They still have a lot of depth in the lineup. They're very good defensively. They fit their ballpark very well. And I think they'll come away with this division and be the playoff team. Oakland, again, can they kind of stay in that race? One AL East team is going to get the other wild card. Does the AL East get both?
Right. Timothy, what do you think about the West?
Yeah, I think that we're going to talk about this in a few minutes, but I think the A's are going to be buyers at the trade deadline, and that could spring them past the Houston. Although probably Houston will maintain. The Angels, they have Ohtani, they have Mike Trout, but they're still 9 games out. They always seem to not, even with the stars like Pujols, they always seem not to be able to do it. I mean, so I think you're right. I think it's going to be a 2-horse race, and the Angels will just be the Angels as they always are. Poorly run.
Coach, what do you think?
Those Astros, hey, they're Patrick's talking about run differential. They're leading the whole league, Major League Baseball, in runs scored. I mean, they can flat out swing it. Yordan Alvarez is a stud. We know about Altuve. I mean, they just keep bringing people at you, and they can swing it. They've got that short porch in left field. They like to hit. They're going to be a tough out.
Well, before we wrap up the AL here, Sonia Molina was just posted a comment. Wes, can you throw that back up? This is my sleeper pitcher in the AL. Her son, Coach, you should mute your phone. I think that's you throwing out some noise at us. But her son, Derek Molina, I think he's playing a little Double-A baseball right now. He's a closer for the Minnesota Twins organization. Check him out and write that name down, Derek Molina. This kid's a stud, so trust me on this one. Trust me on this one. We need to get him on the show one day. So, all right, well, let's move to the NL East. You've got the Mets and the Phillies right there. The Braves are kind of right there. Washington's only, 6-7 out? I mean, this is pretty intriguing division at this point, too. Tim, what do you think?
I think I don't care. I will say this. I was impressed that they took 3 out of 4 from the Sox right before the was it 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 3?
Yes.
Right before the All-Star break, but I really could care less about this division. I don't really care. I mean, whoever wins this is going nowhere.
By the way, Sonia just commented he's high A baseball. Cedar Rapids Colonels. There you go. Write that name down, Derek Molina.
Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Nice town.
Yeah, there you go. Coach, what do you think about the NL East?
Can you guys still hear me? I turned it down
a little bit. Yeah, we can hear
you. Acuna going down, that's rough. I don't think the Braves got it in them right now. Philly. Uh-oh.
Patrick, what do you think?
No, I would say kind of the Mets, obviously, with their depth of pitching, with what DeGrom is doing, they're going to be a factor, and I think they'll be active at the deadline. They've been linked to a few players, but the Mets, I think, they're going to end up winning this division. The Phillies, they'll be active as well. I'll be interested to see what the Braves do, because this was a team, obviously, right now they're 4 games back. You lose your star player. They still have a good farm system. Do they feel good about going out and making a trade and doing this without Acuna? So that would be the question to me. I think this is the Mets division. Braves and Phillies, they'll give it a push. I don't think they have enough. I think the Mets are too strong at starting pitching to kind of see where this shakes out. But that's the thing. Will the Braves do something? Will the Phillies do something to kind of help out their lineup and remain a contender in this? Again, they're still the wild card in the National League is going to be tough because it looks like three West teams will make the playoffs. So you're going to have to win your division here. And do either team have the guts to really go out and go for it?
So interesting fact from the draft the other day, the Marlins were only the second team ever to take all pitchers. They 20 pitchers they took in the draft the other day. 20.
Yeah.
Which, they said we needed pitching. I guess they got, like, I read an article that said they got like 13 in and realized, like, holy shit, we've drafted 13 pitchers. They're like, just run it out. Just do it all. I think it's kind of cool. You'll be curious to kind of follow that 4 or 5 years from now. And what does that look like, for their organization? Does it set a trend of, pitcher to, infielder to out, and maybe it changes things a little bit. Who knows? But all right. So
two-way players, well, I'll say this, two-way players, or as you follow baseball, you can always trade pitching for something. So if you have depth, I mean, you can make moves and acquire what else you need.
So I really like the Milwaukee Brewers. So we're talking NL Central. I like the Brewers. I'm not sold on the Reds. I'm not sold on the Cubs. The Cardinals had played pretty well for a while. We're leading the division, and then they fell off. So what do you guys think about the Central? Tim?
I think that
he doesn't care.
No, I have a thought on this. I like the Brewers as well. But whoever partners with the Pirates at the trading deadline, because they're going to be sellers, should buy them something very nice for Christmas.
Patrick, what do you think?
Yeah, again, I think the Brewers are holding on to this division. That they've been playing well as of late. I agree. The Reds, they have so much talent. It just doesn't seem to come together for them. Cubs, I think, are going to come to a point where they're going to be sellers, and the Cubs might be a factor, especially if they trade off one or two of their high-ticket players. And again, as you said, the Cardinals, they're another team. They have a lot of talent. You expect them to be doing more than they are, and maybe something clicks and they reel off 7 out of 10 or 12 out of 15, something like that at some point. Yeah. But it hasn't clicked yet. So, and we're already halfway through the year, and they haven't figured that out. But the Brewers, I'd be curious to see how much the Pirates want to trade in division, or frankly, how much people want to give up in division. But if you feel like this is a year you can go for it, definitely one of those teams. I'm not really sure what I'm interested in. The Brewers, Reds, and Cubs. I'll have to double check that. Their farm systems aren't outstanding, so I don't know what kind of juice they have to make a big deal.
Yeah. Well, speaking of juice to make a big deal, Coach, what do you think about the NL Central?
Milwaukee's an enigma. One of those guys that they don't have a whole lot of big name players, but boy, they play well together, and that's just awesome to watch them gel. They're playing really good right now, so they're going to be right in the thick of it in the end. They're a tough out too.
So probably nationally, probably more intriguing than the AL East is probably the NL West. Mm-hmm. So, Patrick, what do you got? What do you think?
Well, and again, obviously, San Francisco has been the surprise team of the year. The Dodgers are the defending World Series champions, and the Padres are probably the most exciting team, if you will, in baseball. They're getting a lot of pub. And what's interesting about all the contenders we've talked about, and I mentioned this, the Padres by far have the best minor league system. So they have the fuel to make a blockbuster deal if they want to do that. So it's bunched up right now. I think eventually the Giants might cool off and the Dodgers will take this division, but it's going to be a 3-horse race. And as I alluded to earlier, I think all 3 of those teams will make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just a matter of who wins and who are the 2 wild card teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Coach, what do you think?
They're gonna beat up on each other for the next 82 games. So they're gonna come down the stretch, and it's gonna be a great race. I would love to see Tatis and the Padres get in there. They haven't done it in a long time. I think that would be great for the sport.
Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers will probably take it, but I got to be honest with you, Coach. I'm with you. I'd like to see the Padres do it. And the guy, the humorist in me wants to see a Padres A's World Series, so Rob Manfred's head explodes.
Yeah, right. I want to, before we do some World Series predictions, I want to throw out one just thought or question for you guys. For me right now, and being a Red Sox fan, this is a homer pick, but I think my favorite person to watch play right now is Rafi Devers, third baseman for the Red Sox. The guy's a doubles machine, and he's really coming into his own, and he could swing it.
Mhm.
right? I love watching the guy at the plate. And for you guys, like, who is a guy right now? And maybe it is a homer pick, maybe it is a Tiger for you, Patrick. Tim, who's your guy right now you like to watch?
I'm with you though. I like Devers. I like JD Martinez still because when he comes to he still has it. When he comes to bat, he can do it. But Devers has shed that baby fat that he had, and he's legit. I think though his glove and Patrick, you may know this. His glove still isn't that good. But I like watching him because if you ever watch him, and it was the other day I was watching him, and he's like really into it at the plate. He's making faces and he's really intense. So yeah, I'm with you, Eric.
Cool, Coach. Who do you got?
I'm going to stay on the Red Sox train. I like Bogarts.
Yeah,
Man, they've got. I mean, just the shortstops throughout the league are unbelievable, and I think Xander Bogaerts is one of the up and comers right now.
He had a good All-Star game last night too.
He really did. He really did. It was fun seeing the Red Sox hold down the left side of the field.
Right?
Yeah. So,
Patrick, are you going to stick with the Red Sox, or you got anybody else?
I'll go a different direction, but just real quick on Devers. What I always like about him and studying analytics in baseball, he's a left-handed bat who will go the opposite way, and in Boston that plays really well because you obviously have you have the big right field, if you will, with the short down the line, and if you go the other way, you have the wall. So left-handed bats will go the opposite way generally play well. I'll go a different direction. Being a former catcher, I love to watch pitching, and Jacob deGrom, obviously what he's doing is outstanding. Just to see how well he's dominating, the way he's pitching. Always love great pitching. And then look, I guess, is it a layup to say Ohtani? I mean,
no, I get that.
Yeah, I made the point of obviously there was a game where he was playing the team that I follow, the Detroit Tigers. He was the starting pitcher in that game, and I made a point to stay up until 9:07 when we have two little kids under 5. That 9:07 gets pretty late. So I mean, he started against the Red Sox last week and hit a home run. Yeah.
So I think there's nothing wrong with saying him. I one of the questions and thought I've had about him is how tall is he? I keep meaning is he like 6'2", 6'3"?
I thought he was more 6'4".
Yeah, I thought he was
yeah, Patrick's Googling it right. I can see that.
I mean, it's nice that at our fingertips we have.
Are you talking Ohtani?
Yeah, Ohtani.
It was nicer in radio because people can't see me as I look things up. So
what is that, Coach? Coach froze up. Patrick, how big is he? 6'4", 210. Well, he looks like he may be even a little heavier than that to me, but he's a big guy. It was impressive what he did last night, I would say. So, all right, World Series picks. I'm going to kick this one off first because I am a homer, right? I'm going Red Sox Dodgers. And I think the Red Sox have the team to grind this out and timely hit. They have incredibly timely hitting all year. They've got a great manager. I think if pitching comes around, if Chris Sale shows up, I think we roll into the playoffs. And I think we're going to win it again this year. And I think it's going to be huge. I think Chris Sale is going to be huge. We have a great closer. The middle of the relief is good. I think it's Red Sox Dodgers, and I'm taking the Red Sox because I'm a homer, baby. Patrick, what do you got?
On the National League side, I like the Padres. I think they'll make a move or two. They'll shore up their rotation. They'll get some bullpen help, and their lineup is obviously really good. They can make some moves in the back half of their lineup too, and maybe shore that up as well. The American League, I guess I want to say Tampa because the Bucks won the Super Bowl, the Lightning won the Stanley Cup, so Tampa has to win the World Series right now. In the American League. I think it's going to be the Astros. I think Astros and Padres in the World Series, and it's going to be the Padres winning it.
Tim, you're looking super tan there today. Who do you got for your World Series pick, sir?
I want Boston, San Diego, but I'm thinking Tampa, San Diego is and San Diego wins it.
My boy Mark Richmond, a guy here in Tulsa, just commented and said Padres, yeah. So I'm assuming that means go Padres. Coach, World Series prediction, what do you got?
I got Padres versus White Sox. I want to see the White Sox. Hey, I'm sorry.
I'm kidding.
I want to see the White Sox, and I want to see the Padres. I want to see them go after Craig Kimbrell. They need that closer. Melanson's not getting it done for them from what I've seen.
And
Kimberly,
in the most unwatched World Series ever, Chicago White Sox and San Diego Padres.
oh, come on.
The Padres at least have young, exciting players people want to see. But
Yeah.
I think the White Sox do too.
yeah.
And Patrick, I think that they'll make some moves at the deadline, but there may be some of their younger players that are ready to come up that are that good too. So
Yeah, Abrams, and I can't think of the other kid off the top of my head, but yeah, Mackenzie Gore. They do have some good young pitching in their system as well. Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. Coach, over under on how many games you win this year at Liberty High School?
We're going 15.
All right, that's a big improvement for you guys. Coach started the year of COVID. They played one game and they were done. Last year had a lot of big improvement. Late in the season had a lot of improvement. JV team was phenomenal. So those guys are coming up, and so 15 would be a nice number, I think, this year.
We're gonna get better. We're gonna keep striving to get better. So.
Patrick, how was security at Southern Hills for you?
Yeah,
guys?
we can say it now. Yeah, our company landed the security contract for the senior PGA.
You guys muff it up at all, or was
No.
it?
As you've watched on TV, no one stormed the green and tackled Phil Mickelson, which had happened the week before. But it was interesting. I mean, it was, obviously working in sports for a long time to kind of see a different angle of it. But I spent about 14 hours a day, 6 days at Southern Hills, and probably saw like 2 minutes of actual golf.
Yeah.
So,
that's actually a pretty good thought. A question, I guess, because of the week before what happened with Patrick with Phil Mickelson. Was that obviously all of a sudden like that's on the whiteboard and this?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's on the whiteboard anyway. But
we subcontracted with the national company, and their people were there at the PGA, and then they came over to Southern Hills. And it was it was definitely discussed how we're going to maintain now obviously the crowd was not as big and not as rowdy, but that was discussed, your plan, your spacing, and the reality is that just like anything else, I mean, there's way more of them than there are of you, and if enough people want to do it, you're not going to stop them. That's just
right.
Reality. You try to do the best you can, and sadly most people, they're just lemmings. They'll see one person do it, then 2, and then 10, and then 50, and so on. So.
Yeah. Well, before we wrap this up, Coach, you got any final parting shots today?
I didn't get a shot on goal earlier today.
Because you're a guest and you don't get one.
Yeah.
I will let you have one now.
I have one?
Yeah.
Hey, the uniforms for the All-Star game were hideous.
Yeah.
They were terrible.
I didn't like them either.
Hey, whoever come up with that should have been fired before this morning.
Well, the people that came up with it are the same people that are doing the color NFL color
rush. Yeah.
People.
Yeah. I mean,
I was kind of a little miffed by those myself. I wasn't a big fan, but
no, I'm a baseball purist. I want to see uniforms. I want to see their uniforms.
Yeah.
I want the White Sox to go back to the really wide collars. That's really awesome.
And didn't they wear shorts?
Yeah, the shorts. Let's go back to shorts.
Patrick, you got a final thought before we end today?
Just looking forward to football season, whether it's college, NFL. It's amazing. We're midway through July, so in a month we'll be in training camps and enjoying football season. But yeah, just hope that everything stays cool. We have we're able to have full stadiums and just enjoy a nice football season.
Yeah, I guess my final thought today would be before we get to Mr. Lord is. Xander Bogaerts is mic'd up and he's at the plate and he can hear Buck in his ear talking. And how distracting would that have been to, like, you're trying to hit a ball that's coming at you at 99 miles an hour and you got friggin' Joe Buck in your ear going, oh, what's he going to throw at you? And Xander's like, fastball. Like, it was kind of a mess. But Timmy, any final thoughts today before we end the
Eric, I'm going to take you up on that $2 bet on the $50 Ohtani 50 home the $2 50 home run Ohtani bet.
Okay. If anybody else wants in on that, so here's my bet. Ohtani is at 33 home runs. I'm betting $2 that he will not hit over 50. So I think they'll figure him out.
Is 50 a tie?
Yeah, 50's a tie.
Yeah.
All right. I want 49 and a half home runs.
Okay. All right. We can do that. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on. This has actually been a lot of fun. And Tom Ginn commented with Bucks win tonight. I don't even give a crap about the NBA. And I know, Phoenix is up 2-1. So good luck. I hope Phoenix wins. I'd like to see what's his name, Chris Paul win it. I think that'd be cool. I'm all about that. It's kind of like seeing Coach. I like to see Coach win a little bit because an old guy like him needs to get a couple of wins under his belt. So as always, there's only one way to end this show.